Hey, it's your girl Barbie J here, and we are talking about Tyler Perry's comedy drama, The Oval, Season 2, Episode 18, Misunderstood. I don't know who's misunderstood. I know a few of them pissed me off. I could tell you that much. And that would be Richard, Priscilla, and what's the other one named? Kareem. But y'all gonna hear because I'm gonna go in on them parts. I'm telling you now. So be prepared. I'm sorry. But before I get started, shout out to everybody in my comment section and shout out to all my subscribers. Thank all of you for holding my channel down. It is so appreciated. It is so appreciated. So if you get a chance, feel free to like, comment, and share my video so I can get more subscribers. Help Barbie J channel grow. That's right, grow. I can't do it without you guys. I'm telling you. So bless you all. Anyway, now remember, I need you to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Now let's get into this show, because I got an attitude right now, and y'all gonna have to roll me in. Because first of all, we got Richard, Sharon, and Dale. And I told y'all in the last video, I said I know Sharon gonna be the one to get hurt, and they're gonna say she lost the baby. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. We know that's what's gonna happen. But they get out of the car, and of course he's pulling Richard got out first, then he pulling the Dale out, and Dale will you pull him out if he gonna crawl back in and get Sharon out? Come on with the acting already, okay? So they all get out before the car blows up. Poof. He tells Dale to call 911. Dale's like, I got a headache. He's like, boy, call 911. You got your phone? I'm like, why you don't have your phone in your pocket, Richard? Most guys carried it in their pocket or somewhere. But anyway, then we got Victoria. Oh my God, Victoria. She makes Alan go with her to greet, I don't know why she did this, to greet Hunter and Ellie when they come. She must think he has some type of power that he doesn't have and don't exude at all. And so they waiting outside for them to pull up, and the Secret Service is about to tell him that your wife is here. And she said, you better not. She was gonna warn him. She said, don't you dare. Can't a wife surprise her husband? You know. So they arrive, and she hugs her and tells her, smile, bitch. I said, oh God. Why? She was uncomfortable. She didn't want to be there. That's why she wasn't smiling. So anyway, she said, we should go in the Oval. They go in the Oval, and she's going, do you know that this is his girlfriend? Do you know? And she's telling Alan, do you know that they fucking... And she's like, don't you see the pain on his face? Don't you see how he's feeling and looking? And he's like, I don't give a fuck. That's Hunter. I don't care. He knows we're having sex. You know we're having sex. You know her panties. She had my drawers in her pocketbook. You know all of that. And he walked in and he saw us. So what? She was like, Victoria's looking at him like trying to beat Alan down. Telling him to get me. I was like, she was working my nerves with this. Trying to get on Alan. Get on your husband. Leave Alan alone. Alan ain't got jack to do with this. So, he's saying something. She said, oh, he can't play. Oh, no. Hunter was really crass. He was like, oh, well, yeah, he knows we fucking and everything. He said, but he couldn't please her. He couldn't please her, and he's an abusive prick or something like that, he called him. And then she said, and she's a conniving little biatch. And she's looking at him, and they trying to leave. And she's like, no, I want them to stay here. And Hunter's telling them to go, and I want them to stay. And all this back and forth was getting on my nerve. So they kind of leave out of there. And as they leave, and Victoria's like, you see how she's so disrespectful to you? You need to handle it. Her little disrespectful girlfriend. And that, oh, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? It sounded like, you know who she sounded like when she was doing that? What you gonna do? Wear your balls? She sounded like Veronica from the Have and Have-Nots. That's what she reminded me of, Veronica, the Have and Have-Nots. And she's telling him he better handle that. And that she's browbeating him on the way out of the Oval Office. Donald grabs her and stops her. And she said, "Wait, get off me." She said, "Your father wants to see you, wants to speak with you. He's on the phone." And he said, "You and the president." And so he's disappointed. He tells him, I'm disappointed that neither of you have called me since your mother's death, passing, whatever. And he said, she said, I thought you wanted it that way. And he said, why would you think that? Because you're such a private person and stuff. And so he tells them he's dying and he needs to see both of them. And Hunter tries to make an excuse like, oh, like I got something. He's like, oh, please, don't put that bullshit. He was like, you've done nothing since being in that office. Not a damn thing. So sell that shit to someone else. I said, oh, daddy dying and getting in his ass at the same time. I was like, okay. So I was like, all right. Then Alan and Ellie, they end up get into it and back in the office because Donald tells they back in the office, they get into it. And he was like, don't you know I love you? And she was like, stop loving me. Just stop loving me. She was like, do you want me to change the locks? He said, why would you do that? She threatens. And she threatens him and says she could ruin him. And he was like, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that, would you? And stuff. He's rubbing her face. And I'm like, yo, she getting up in her like, that power's getting to her. She think because she's screwing him. But did she see how the way he talked to her and talked about her in her face, in everybody's face in the Oval? It was ridiculous. So then they flip over to Richard. Richard is in the hospital telling Dale to fill out the paperwork for Sharon. Sharon lived with your ass how long, Richard? How long has Sharon lived with you, Richard? Why you want to tell the white boy who just started the job a week ago to fill out paperwork for his coworker? How many of y'all know what's going on with your coworker and could fill out paperwork for him or her if they went in the hospital? I was like, okay, Richard pissed me off. That's the first one. So, and I'm going to tell you why. He said, well, Dale, I really don't know her like that. Well, he said, well, who does? Mother effer, you know her. She lived in your house. Oh, my God. He said, well, your wife. He said, your wife? She said, yeah, she told me that your wife was somebody who knew her well. He said, well, can you call her? No, he said, you going to call her? He goes, no. What the? In a matter of emergency, when there's an issue, this is when I'm talking about being a man, being an adult. Forget a man, being an adult. I don't care how mad you are at people when there's important situations like this. You're supposed to just chalk it up and call, honey, somebody, Nancy, something happened to the, come to the hospital. No, he don't want her to come. Don't tell her that. I was so sick of Richard with that. I'm sorry. That was the first thing. That was the first person that pissed me off. You know, I'm like, wow. Wow. That's all I could say. So Dale tells Nancy, he gets on the phone and he's like, who's this? He's so stupid. And Nancy never said, Nancy's like, well, who is this? You know? And then he tells her that Sharon's in St. Rhodes Hospital and stuff, and they need, because she come there, they need the paperwork filled out for her. And she's like, okay, I'm coming on my way. Then Dale, he hangs up the phone from Nancy. Kareem calls, and Dale tells him what happened. You know, Kareem was flying down there. Kareem was like, oh, I'll be right there. I'll be right there. And I was like, oh, here we go. So then it changes to, what was it? Sam. Sam is trying to sign on to some secure network, and whatever it is notifies Kyle. So Kyle calls Donald to tell Donald, and they seem to be all upset and pissed at each other. So they got attitude. What do you want? I don't want to talk to you. I'm sick of those two. They act like little biatches. They really do. And he tells Kyle to handle it. Go ahead and handle it, but no bloodshed. It's too much of this. It's getting way out of hand. It's ridiculous. And it totally is. There's too many people dying and nobody getting in trouble for it. Nobody's following up on it. Nobody knows what happened. All these people missing. Diane, Jean. Oh, come on. Then it's what? Alonzo. So Alonzo walks up to Sam while he's signing on, and he's telling him that what happened with Kyle is acting suspicious about the tape, and he and Priscilla think that it has something to do with what really happened to Jean, and he's like, really? What do you think happened? He said, well, you should ask your wife. Oh yeah, Sam get on my nerve too. I'm asking you. Motherfucker, ask your wife. This is a matter of importance. Y'all need to learn how to speak to each other. Ask your damn wife what's going on. Adios, mijos. Y'all gonna have me going crazy up in here. Anyway, what else? No, man, so he said someone inside the White House we think did it or something and is covering up. So Kyle comes in and Sam tells Alonzo, go ahead, to go home. And Kyle's like, no, I need to speak with both of y'all. And Sam is like, no, go home, Alonzo. You speak to me. No, I need him to stay here. Alonzo like a little puppet going between. He's like, aren't you on the First Lady's detail? He said, Kyle, I'm still your damn superior. What the fuck? What's wrong with you? Alonzo, go. No, I need to talk to both of y'all. There seems to be a problem, he said, about the, what was it? The issue with the tapes at the precinct. That's what it was. The tapes at the precinct. And Sam's friend said he gave it to an agent, Smith. How you know he's Sam's friend, as he put it? Well, all the black people are friends and the white people just float around. It's like, what? Because he black. Why he really his friend that we know of? Do we think they're friends? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I was like, okay, Kyle. He's so busy snooping. I don't know if he knows. Well, anyway. Then he says, then they started talking. What happened? They started talking about it, and Alonzo starts to explain something. He starts explaining, and that's when he said, oh, he started asking about that tape and all of that stuff. And when Alonzo started explaining, Sam said, go home, Alonzo. And Alonzo books. He gets up out of there because Alonzo, you know, he's about to start explaining. And so Sam asks his Kyle. He tells Kyle, I have the tapes. What about it? You know, like, so what's the problem? He said, well, like, why? He said, because I was curious about some things, like what really happened to Jean. And why do you know what happened to her? And I don't know. He said, I don't know anything. There's Kyle. I don't know anything. He said, really? Then why are you asking for the tapes? Ooh, checkmate. Come on now. Why are you asking for the tapes if you don't know anything? What's going on? Who's got you going around, you know, who got you asking for these tapes? He said, look, this is higher than you, and you might want to let this one go. That's what he told him. And he said, no, a young lady was killed by and he said, no, she was killed by her boyfriend. No, we don't think so. I don't believe that at all. The tape shows her leaving. No, then he said something, I couldn't hear what Sam said, to let Kyle know that tape was a fake, because he said it was a fake. That was a fake, he said. So who asked you to collect these tapes? That's what he said. Who asked you to collect these tapes? I don't know what you're talking about. He said, maybe I should suspend you until you do. You don't want to do that. Maybe I do. You can't do that. Oh, really? He was like, okay, well, you're officially suspended, and I'll have you written up when I get in the morning. I said, damn, Sam. Where was that Sam before you let Kyle get that position? Because that was hot. He was like, well, and he was cool about it. Well, mother, he didn't have to go there. He just suspended him. He said, and I'll have you written up in the morning. He said, you positive about that? He said, it's done. Go home for 2 weeks. And then when he walked away, did y'all hear what Kyle said? Your grave? Your grave? What, you gonna kill him because he suspended you? So when Sam turned around, sat down, and tried to get back into the computer, it shut him out. So that must have gave them time to shut him down from getting into that secure server. And then they showed Lily and Donald, and they talking in the bedroom, and she's telling him a story about an openly gay man who ran for president and was successful running, but not that he won anything, but why he can't come out and be who he really is, which is gay. And he explains and adds that she'll never understand this town. They're not very kind. And kind in their hatred towards their hatred. Ooh, their hatred they have for outsiders. I'm sorry, my eyes, for outsiders. And he asked why she stays in this situation if that's the way she feels. She said to climb the ladder and get what she came for, and what she can for putting up with him, because basically she felt he used her. And he was like, no, I didn't. She said, I put up with you and this harassment, this charade, and loving me. And he said, I do love you. And I do love you. She's like, get the fuck out of here. You don't love me. How could you love me when you don't love yourself? She said, and I was like, wow, that was powerful. Because to me, like she said, if you loved yourself, you'd be able to be who you are and do what you have to do instead of hiding in the closet, and how this might be so sad and stuff, you know. And then he gets upset and he throws the pictures at her, and tells, he gives her the picture and said, here, I hired Bobby to catch you and have sex with you and all that stuff. But I thought Kyle did, but I guess Kyle was working with Donald. But why would you be trying to get him to have sex with her in case she wanted to leave him? Why was you thinking Lily would want to divorce you? It didn't make sense to me what he was saying. So he said he was going to use it as leverage if she ever decided to divorce. I don't believe that at all. I don't know why, but I just don't. Then we got Priscilla. She goes to see General Martin. And she just is spilling everything. She tells about Jean in the White House, a cover up, and then she tells him about Diane. She was missing, and that the envelope, she told her to give it to Sam. Piss me off. If she told you to give it to Sam, why didn't you give it to Sam? No, because we're not talking. Then why you didn't give the envelope to Sam? Oh, well, because we're going through some problems right now. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Are supposed to be adults. Be an adult and do what people ask you to do. Squash all of that. When it comes to death and sickness and stuff, you got to squash that stuff and help people out and be an adult about stuff. You can go back to being mad at them later. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry. But anyway, I told you I was going to get upset at certain areas. So he said, and then she told that, I think he's sleeping with the first lady. He said, you think or you know? She said, well, I confirmed it this morning, you know. I said, damn, she told everything. And remember, Nancy told her, be careful, because once it's out there, it's out there. And he said, let me look at this package and make some quiet calls, you know, because he knows it's deep. He said, because that's, if what you're saying is true, it goes all the way to the president. She said, that's what I've been trying to say. Have you told anyone else? He asked her. She said, no, not even Sam. No. He said, good, don't tell anybody. Don't say any more. And he said, told her a piece of advice was to be cool, you know, keep your cool. And she said, that's what I've been doing. And we all agree. The restraint she had with Victoria was amazing. I know I couldn't have had it. I probably would have spit at Victoria, you know what I mean? Anyway, so that's what's been going on. She said, and I want to quit, and I want to quit my job, and I want to divorce Sam. And he told her to make sure you have she has all the answers. Make sure you have all the answers before you do that. He said, I might need you on the inside. And you know, and then he said, you know, I love you. And she said, I love you too. So I'm trying to figure out, and if anybody knows, do anybody know what this relationship is between her and the general? Because I have no idea what this is. I was like, when did she meet him? I'd love to know the backstory about those two. And then the thing is, there's another backstory, because then Bobby and Max are in the room talking to Natalie. Is her name Natalie? That's the name I gave her. She looked like a damn Natalie. And she's snapping at Bobby because he's questioning about some guy who's supposed to be in the CIA, but he doesn't know him. How come I don't know him? And she's like, well, how high does yours go, your level go, and all this stuff. And they get into a fight, and she, you know, and then she told him, she spoke to General Martin as well, and he told her that, he spoke to Agent Owen's wife, who told him some damaging intel about the housekeeper, Jean. Is that damaging intel when it's about the housekeeper? I don't know. Are they that important, the housekeeper? And then Max go, who, the maid? What the fuck? She just said housekeeper. Why you got to try to belittle, make her low and call her maid? Why? Call her household technician. Call her something. But you had to belittle her, Max, and bring it down. No, she's not the housekeeper. She's the maid. Fuck you, Max. I'm sorry, but that's how I felt about that when that happened, when he said that. And she said, what else? The track said. So she said, this is crazy. She said, oh, and they're covering their tracks in every way, and this is deep, and Bobby said, yeah, this is crazy. She said, you know what else is crazy, Bobby? You know what else is crazy? You don't check out. You don't check out. I want him to go. I want him out of here by the morning. And he's like, looking at her like, what's your problem? And she said, tell him, Bobby. You want me to tell him, or you tell him? And Bobby looking at her like, what? What? And she's like, there are 4 years of his life that don't account for between his military service and his CIA detail. I didn't even know he was in the CIA. I don't remember him having. He's a ghost. He's a ghost. And she says, and he looks at her and he said, look, I was in Moscow. And there's a way, and I'm way more legit than you are, princess. I said, oh, He called her princess. Oh, I said, oh shoot. And she's like, he said, go call your people and ask them. She said, I will, and I'm gonna go call them now and all this stuff. But she told all the stuff, and then Bobby told Max, you know what? Her ass is more paranoid than you. You need to check her out. Check her something. And Max like, you never told me you were in the CIA. That's all he got from that. They argue with each other, and you want to know why, how he in the CIA and you didn't know about it? Because, Max, you so busy not trusting him. That man have higher levels than you do. You were just Secret Service, Max. That's all you were. Anyway, so Max tells her he knows what she was doing, and she's trying to test him and stuff. Oh, you know me so well. She want to screw Max so bad. She want to screw him so bad. You know, Max probably want to screw her too. And then it ended with Nancy. She's showing up at the hospital, and she's asking Dale what happened. Why didn't you call the police? And then he finally admitted your husband didn't want us to. And she's like, my husband was there. What? When my husband's in the hospital? No, he's not in the hospital. He's okay. He's fine. You sure? No, I gotta call my husband. No, they need this paperwork for. I gotta call my husband. You know Richard ain't answer that damn phone because he didn't have his phone. It's in the car. So she's like, call me back. And what is going on? He was like, Miss, they really need that paperwork filled out. So, and he said he told about the compound and that they went there to the compound where they think Barry and Ruth and the granddaughter might be and stuff. And she's still like, you sure my husband? I was like, oh my God. She was like, yeah, I know. Whatever. Then Kareem comes in and he asks what happened. Then he turns to the nurse and asks for Sharon. And she said, who are you? And Nancy's looking at him. She like, who is? And he said, her boyfriend. And Nancy's like, what? But she don't say nothing. So she said, well, he the one at the pharmacy. Kareem, she goes, do y'all have health insurance at the pharmacy? He said, no. What the fuck? Kareem, y'all don't have health insurance. You work at a pharmacy and there's no health insurance at the pharmacy. What y'all get, the free drugs? Y'all just take drugs? Kareem, is that what y'all do? I was like, oh my God. And he turns around and said, are you Barry's mother? She said, yes, I am. He goes, what are you doing here? What the fuck you being mean to her for? He said, to see Sharon and to help out. Well, we got this. We don't need your help. What the? I was like, you better grow the up, Kareem. And that's why I don't want Sharon need to check herself with going from man to man and bed to bed. It's sickening. We don't need your help. She said, who do you think you talking to? Who did? He said, no disrespect. She said, no, who do you think you going talking to? I ain't going nowhere. 5 minutes later, Tyler got her pulling up at the house. What the hell? I thought she wasn't going nowhere. She pulling up at the house, and she goes in and finds Barry spread out all over the dining room table with that ruthless, what do they call them? Like yakatuchis or rakatushis? The stuff all over them. I said, what the hell is going on? But you know what? People was getting on my nerves in this episode. You know, I don't even know what to say if I liked it or didn't like it or whatever. People was pissing Barbie J off. So y'all let me know down in the comment section how y'all felt about the show. Let me know if I missed anything. Tell me if you liked it or didn't like it. Anyway, it's your girl Barbie J saying peace.